Hi, I'm Sonia. This is my channel, Sonia Starcrossed. This is my dog, Jack. I'm going to put him right over here. Welcome to my channel. Today is September 1st, 2024. Alright, so this is actually going to be a wrap-up of my August stitching and a look forward to my September projects that I want to work on, cross-stitch and otherwise. I have a lot of finishes. I'm not really sure why. I guess I had just a lot of projects that were kind of lingering, and so I got most of them completed. I think I had several projects that I just had probably a couple hundred stitches to put in, and I was mostly just angsting about what to do with them. So I finished those up, and also there was a retreat in there, the Black Needle Society, which has its own video wrap-up, what I worked on while I was there and what I purchased. And so there will be, I think there's probably like 2 or 3 things that I purchased in July outside of the Black Needle Society retreat. So if you want to see all the haul from that, I'll put a link to the video for that retreat and the wrap up, because that haul was a little over the top and I don't want to go through all of that again. And then I haven't received my purchases from the needlework market yet, so I guess those will just go on the September. So I think I've only purchased 1 or 2 things outside of that. Alright, so let's jump straight in. And over here I'm going to be looking at my database on my iPad. So I created my own database to keep track of all my stuff. So I have one that tracks my cross-stitch supplies and one for my books, and I'll probably just continue making them. I have them on Airtable, which is like the hosting platform. They provide the software online. So a lot of people use Notion, and then they create their own like templates within Notion. So it's similar. So I created all my own databases within the Airtable like framework. I don't know how to share them at this point, but I have been watching some Flosstubes lately, and one of them was Bendy Stitchy, and she brings up on the screen her like Notion, and which is how she tracks her stuff, and kind of shows how she clicks through it. So I might try to incorporate some of that here in my video, so you might be able to see, just because I'm very proud of my database. I put a lot of time and effort into it, and so I love to show it off. I do have a whole video about it, so I'll also put a link to that if you want to go and like see all the nerdy details. But maybe you'll see it on the screen, maybe you won't, but that's what I'm referring to over here. Alright, we're going to see how this works. So the only thing that I have fully finished is the Pinata ornament. That's what I'm calling it, the Pinata ornament that I made as an exchange for the Black Needle Society retreat, smalls exchange. So I'll just have to put in a picture. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like on the tree, because that's where we put it for display at the retreat. And so this was originally, let me see what the name of the project was. So it's called Pen Pals Pinata Party by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and I didn't put the like postage stamp border around it, mostly because I ran out of time, and I just did like a sandwich finish and glue or stitched on some sequined edging that I bought at a garage sale, and I thought it came out looking really, really cute. So I think that was like my first trimmed ornament finish. So that was stitched on 32 count Opal Lugana. The color is Minerva by Under the Sea Fabrics. It's one of my favorites. And oh, I can show you the pictures from here. So this is what it looked like. I used most of the call for colors. I did change the border to be pink. I think it was originally blue. You can see it here. Yeah, so it was originally blue. And this is what it looked like on the tree. You can't really tell, but there is silver Krynic in there, which I hated. I had heard not to use Krynic, like to use something else. But I have a bunch of Kryneck that I got secondhand, and so I've been trying to use it, but it was as awful as everyone says it was. But anyway, so yeah, so the label here fully finished, and it was gifted away. So the total for the chart was 968, but I only did 768 stitches because, again, I didn't do the postage stamp around the corners. All right, so the first project that I wanted to show is Strange and Unusual. This is by the Witchy Stitcher, and this is how it looks. So I did take out the upside down crosses, and I took out the upside down skulls from the bottom of the frame. I just decided that I didn't want them down there. I figure it'll just make it easier to frame if just the top isn't squared off. And I used Threadworks Hawaiian Hot Pink on the whole thing, and I love it. I think it looks great. I haven't decided if I'm gonna hang it on the door to the craft room or just here in my room, maybe in my bedroom. I'm not sure, but this was one of the first things that I started stitching. So let's see, bringing it up. So I have here the total for the project is 2,659 stitches, and I'm sure in the corner of the screen you'll see how many stitches I put on it in August. So this is being stitched on 16 count Aida. The color is black by Zweigart, and again, it's by the Witchy Stitcher. And so I started it. This is one of my January starts. I did the 12 starts, one every hour on July 1st. So I started this on January 1st. So I started this January 1st. I finished this on August 24th. So you can see here all the different floss tubes that it was highlighted in. So yeah, let's see. I think if I scroll to the bottom, so the total number of stitches that I put in was 2,501. That's kind of iffy. That's kind of iffy as far as numbers, because if I took stitches out because I messed up and then put them back in, sometimes I would forget to update my database. So it's possible I put more stitches than that in and I just didn't track them. But in theory, I put in about 2,500 stitches into this total project. And then, like I said at the beginning, so this number up here, 2,659 would have been the total for the whole thing. But again, I left out the bottom border and the upside down crosses. So yeah. So this is Summer Sucks. It's called Summer Sucks by the Witchy Stitcher. I did alter it. So let's see. So first off, I made them smiley faces. So last summer when I bought this, it was like 100 plus degrees in San Antonio for I don't know, 3 months or something. It was crazy. And so last year's summer did suck. And that's when I bought this pattern. It's by the Witchy Stitcher. And this summer has actually, in comparison, been very nice. It's just been high 90s, and then we've just had maybe 2 or 3 weeks of 100 plus. So I didn't actually hate summer as much this year. So I decided to change the sad faces to smiles. So I changed the sun to a smile and the ghost to a smile. I changed the umbrella to pink just because I wanted more pink in here. And then I changed the writing from Summer Sucks, and I just made it Hot Ghoul Summer for Hot Girl Summer. I think that was an idea maybe of Kirsten or Caitlin, I can't remember which. But so this is stitched on 14 count black Aida, just by DMC, nothing special. And let's see, so I started this June 21st, so at the beginning of June, or at the end of June, beginning of summer-ish, and then just finished it on August 25th. So it was pretty quick. Most of that time was trying to decide what to do about these letters down here, and like, I guess it was one of my first things that I charted in an actual like app. I spent a lot of time angsting over it. I took it out because I started it too far over. So I probably would have finished this like 3 weeks earlier, except that I was trying to figure out what to do about the letters, which is pretty standard for me, so whatever. My next finish, and this was just last night, so this is Foxglove House, and it is by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery, and it is stitched on 20 count Aida. The color is Anya by Under the Sea Fabrics. And I used all the called for colored threads, and I think it's delightful. I love it. It's so cute. If you know the whole story about why I got confused, I didn't know what foxgloves were, and so I just thought that this was called the Foxglove House because this fox has gloves on. So there are 8 more of these in the series. So I haven't decided if I'm going to go ahead and kit up the next one that I want to do, which I'm pretty sure is the Peony House, or just wait until next spring to start the next one. There is a fall series of these houses, and then there's a winter Christmassy series of these houses, which I would love to do, but I'm trying not to spend more money, and I have so much already. So I think right now I'm just going to stick with the wisteria houses. If you see the next house get started, then it does. All right, and again, don't pay attention to the numbers. I stitched everything in here, so I'm not sure why it says 89%. Again, I need to work on that. So the total number of stitches that I put in as far as what I tracked was almost 4,000. So I put in 3,896 stitches, but that doesn't count. Probably I forgot a few days to put in my numbers. All right, so let's see. The next very small one that I have is this Sleeping Raccoon, and it is designed by LaSelvaDesign. I bought it off Etsy, and this is stitched on 14 count Aida. The color is Sunset by DMC. I think I just got it at Michael's or Joann's, and it came in like a little bundle with some other raccoons doing fun things, so I will probably also stitch those and maybe put them all together or something like that. And I started this on July 13th and finished it on August 3rd, so it didn't take me very long. Mostly it just got put aside to work on other things. This was one of the frogwort starts, so this I think was for the sleeping or something like that prompt. All right, so this next one is, I'm referring to it as Jesus Loves Me. It's a Precious Moments design, and so this is what it looks like. It's stitched on 18 count Opal, and the color is London Fog by Under the Sea Fabrics. And I started it in February, on February 1st, and it didn't get finished until August 1st. And most of that time was because I was trying to decide about what to do for the bottom of the piece, because, so that's the finish. So I had originally decided that I might want to do the bottom of it in purple. And then I didn't like the purple, so I spent a lot of time angsting over that, and so it just sat out and sat out and sat out until finally we're just gonna finish this. So this is mine, and then right here I have my mom's, and so this one's my mom's. She stitched it probably 40 years ago. 50 years ago, and this one's mine. Obviously made it look like me, so it's got darker hair, and I just tried to make the colors a little more my aesthetic. And so my plan, it does have some staining on it. I've used probably 5 different cleaners trying to get the stains out. I think we did a pretty good job, and I really just don't want to mess it up too much, so I'm just going to leave it as is. And then I bought this frame at Daiso, and so my plan is to put them in this frame like this so that they're right next to each other. All right, so my last finish is August's Poppy, and this is by Cottage Garden Samplings as part of the My Garden Journal, and this is stitched on 18 count Milk and Honey by Fiber on a Whim. And so I'll put the picture up of what my piece is going to look like at the end, and unfortunately I found it on Pinterest, so I'm not sure who stitched that whole thing, but this is what I have so far. So far I've completed May. Let me stand up. So far I've completed May and July. Started June, did not get very far. Started July. I did work on July during August just to finish off the threads that I had already pulled. So that was kind of a whip. And then, so September will go there. And then I've already kitted September, October, and November. So let's see where September is. All right, so here is September. So it's going to be really pretty. I like the schoolhouse, and I like that it's kind of like summery, but also like starting to get into fall. And I went on a huge kitting tear last weekend, I think it was, and I have a whole nother video where I have shown everything that I'm planning, not everything, but a lot of what I put together as kits for September, October, and November. So everything, almost everything is already prepped. There are a few things like Thanksgiving pieces, and then a couple new things that I've purchased that aren't shown in that video. So I'm not going to go into huge depth when I get to it about my plans, since I have a whole nother video about that, which of course I will link to. But yeah, so September is next. So those are all of the finishes, and I have 4 pieces that are being archived because I didn't finish them, and they're summer pieces. So the first one is Mermaid Terrarium by the Tiny Modernist. All right, so this is where I got to. So she is being stitched on 16 count Opal Aida, and the color is Neptune by Under the Sea Fabrics. I love this color. Definitely want to get more of it. And I started this June 20th. I thought for sure I was going to get a lot further on this than I did, and I just didn't. So I will pull it out next year. All right, so the next project that I had hoped to get finished this summer but didn't is You Are My Sunshine. So this is from the Fat Quarter Shop by It's So Emma Stitchery. And this I got as a kit last year. I started on it last year. I messed up the fabric. I rebought it, and so I started it again this year. And this is where I got to this summer, and this is stitched on 14 count Aida. It's Sand and Sea by Fabric Flair, so like all of the brown and the blue is already printed on the fabric. And I thought about pushing through and really finishing this, but aside from the quote, then that would have left the brown driveway or walkway and the brown border to finish next year, because I knew for sure I wouldn't be able to finish the border this year, and I just thought that would be kind of boring to do, so I left myself the quote. I need to finish the roof here and finish the house over here, so it'll be a little bit of fun. And then, so this is going to be archived, and what I mean when I say that it's going to be archived is that I'm taking the pattern, I'm taking the fabric, and I'm putting them back in the plastic Ziploc along with the legend for the thread bed. In this case, I am also including my leftover 3706, And the reason that I'm doing that is because that is the end of that skein, and so I think I just have like to fill in just right here. And even though it should be the same color, since I just have a little bit left and I'm gonna have to switch to a new skein, I just figured for the sake of, just in case the color gets changed, I'm just gonna keep the rest of what I was using. Excuse me. And so yeah, all of these will get put in the Ziploc and then get put in my ottoman, which is where, my storage ottoman, which is where I keep all of my archived pieces. And if you want to see kind of what that looks like, I did a mini craft room tour at the beginning of my fall kitting extravaganza. So that was Flosstube 21. So I'll put a link to that if you want to just see what that looks like. And then I have two other projects that are being archived. So let's see. So this one is the ice cream shop, the Beach Boardwalk series from Cottage Needleworks. This one I probably could have pushed through and finished, but I just decided to stop and put it aside for next year. And it is being stitched on 32 count Lugana, and the color is the Valkyrie by Under the Sea Fabrics. All right, and the last piece that I didn't even work on during August, but it's being archived, is the Fabulous House series, the Greenhouse by Cottage Garden Samplings. So this is where it was probably the last time you saw it, and so it'll be archived till next year. So it's the second Fabulous House that I have archived at about the same place. So maybe I don't like stitching the Fabulous Houses as much as I like kitting them and starting them. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. All right, so those are my finishes and the whips that I am archiving until next spring, summer. So now we have a couple things that have come out of the archive, or really I guess just one thing that came out of the archive to get worked on. And so that is the Seaside Tiny Town by Heart and Hand. All right, and so it's already hooped, but that is where it was last year, so that came out of the archive, and that is going to be worked on this year, hopefully. And I think that is the only thing that I pulled out of the archive for September. I did pull out quite a few things for October and November, but we'll save those. So then I have some plans for new starts. So these are the new start plans. All right, so the first one is the Festive Little Fobs Harvest Edition by Heartstring Samplery. So there are a bunch of little ones there. I'm not sure which one I'm going to start with. Maybe the wreath, maybe the cat, maybe the squirrel. But I've already got fabric cut up to make 3 or 4 of them. And so that I'm hoping to get started pretty soon. The other one that I'm really hoping to get started is from the 12 Monthly Minis, designed by Lindsay Waite for Primrose Cottage, and let's see if we can. So I have kitted up August, so here's August, and September, which I believe is that one, and October, that one, and November. So in the project bag, and I have the fabric for all 4 of those to get started on, but obviously I'll probably start on either August or September. Actually, I don't have the fabric cut. I need to cut the fabric today. But so those are my 2 definite plans for just kind of getting started with fall. And then since it's September, I have a couple samplers, 2 that I'm starting for Sampler September and 2 that I'm going to pull out from, like, they're in my current whips, but I'm going to focus on them. So the first one, alright, so the first one I'm still waiting for the paper pattern, and it's the Scary Sampler. I have the fabric picked out. I have the threads picked out. So this is 32. Gotta go over to my projects. Alright, so I've got this kitted up on 36 count linen, and the color is Brown Sugar by Fiber on a Whim. And then I have all of the called for colors, except I did change one of the greens to steamed broccoli just to kind of warm up and brighten up the color palette. But I'm really excited to get started on that probably today because it's the first day of September. And then the other sampler that I'm going to start, but I have really no plans of finishing anytime in the near future, is the Little Alien Schoolgirl by Ink Circles. And so it is all kinds of sci-fi, alienish motifs and things. And so I figure I'm going to stitch them as I'm watching associated movie or show or learning about whatever thing. And so the first one that I'm going to work on is this, at the very, very top is a sandworm. And so I'm going to stitch that in the colors of the Dune sandworm while I watch Dune with my daughter because she read the book. She wants to watch the movie. So those are the 2 samplers that I am starting. And then these 2 samplers I've had in my whip pile all year, but just haven't really pulled them out. So I'm going to make them a focus. The first one, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna like the color palette while I'm working, but I mean, it is still summer. So this one is my Modern Folk Embroidery. It was the 2023, yeah, 2022 stitch along by, again, Modern Folk Embroidery. It's called Reaching Skyward. So it is going to be a huge piece. And let's see. Alright, so it is being stitched on a huge piece of 32 count Lugana. The color is Hecate by Under the Sea Fabrics. It's beautiful. And I think I'm going to change the hoop to something else because this is kind of a weird size, and also this fabric needs to be tied up differently. But yeah, so I'm hoping to get this worked on, especially at the beginning of September when it's still very sunny and everything hasn't turned orange yet, so the color doesn't annoy me. And then the other one that I am going to be pulling out and focusing on is my Alright, so this one I call my Baba Yaga Autumn Alphabet. It is by Alforest Embroidery, and it is my kind of Frankenstein together project. And so this is where it's starting out. I will put the original, and then basically what I've done is just arranged how I want it to look. So I haven't charted it or anything like that. I'm just, you know, going off vibes. So this is the other piece that I'm hoping to focus on during Sampler September. Alright, so that is all of my projects that I finished archiving, starting, working on. I'm not anticipating actually getting a lot of cross stitch done this month, so I have a lot of other things going on, and a lot of other things that I want to work on. So the first thing is I've pulled out my box of projects. So most of the time, unless I'm gifting away a project, if I finish it, it just goes in a box. So So I've pulled out my box and I pulled out all the fall and Halloween cross stitch pieces that I finished last year, and I'm going to push myself to fully finish them so that I can get those up and put on shelves for the coming up season. And I need to finish framing the Precious Moments pieces together, and then I need to look up their name. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen, but I was watching Stitching at the Cabin, Stitching at the Lake Cabin, something like that, and she was talking about needle felt applique, and it just, I mean, obviously I knew about it, but I hadn't looked at it very much, so I did go ahead and get a piece to kind of give it a try. And so I bought this kit. It is a Bucella kit, and it is Woodland Floral Felt Garland. It has some of my favorite things: fox, hedgehog, raccoon, and I love a garland bunting, so I'm working on this. And basically it comes as like all these felt pieces that are stamped, and so you cut them out, and they give you all the things that you need to do. This one doesn't happen to have any sequins on it. I don't know how I'm doing so far. So this is the stump, and I've started embroidering the stump lines. I don't know how I'm doing, but so I definitely want to keep working on that. That's very time consuming. And then the other thing is, in case you missed it, I'm going to the Eras Tour at the beginning of November, so I need to get working on friendship bracelets. I have a bunch of friendship bracelet kits, so need to get cracking on those. And oh yeah, the other thing that I'm hoping to get into is bobbin lace making. So I got some secondhand bobbins off Etsy, and I'll put in like a picture of what it looks like, I guess. So I got some secondhand bobbins on Etsy. They already came with little charms on them, so that's really cute. I love the sound they make. I'll have to do like an ASMR video. But anyway, yeah, I want to give that a shot. And the other thing that I'm going to do that is going to take up a crazy amount of time is I'm going to redo my whole craft room. So, you know, if you go back on my YouTube channel, probably, you know, like 10 plus years, I used to be a huge paper crafter. So I started scrapbooking in like the 90s, I guess. I started scrapbooking, like I was going to scrapbook retreats. I don't know if I was in high school. I might have been in high school, might have been in college, like just starting college. But I was scrapbooking way back. And so I have tons and tons of scrapbook supplies. And then when obviously I had my kids, it really kind of stopped, because that's a very kind of project intense thing that you don't need babies getting into scissors and glue and paper. And then I did go through a couple spurts where I really got back into it, and then I haven't scrapbooked in probably 6 or 7 years. And yet at least half my craft room is scrapbooking supplies. And so I really want to go through and edit that. I also have boxes and boxes of keepsakes that I've been keeping for the scrapbooks, and so I need to edit that down to probably just highlights in case I do get back to scrapbooking. And then I also was really into planners, And so I have a lot of planner paper and planners themselves that I've kept. So I need to edit that collection since at this point I'm almost 100% online with my planners and my organizing. I do keep buying paper planners though, because I can't not, but I don't use them and I need to stop. I also was really into like paper mixed media, so like painting and like gel plating, and so like painting and stuff, but mostly to get the paper. So then I would use the paper for collages or in my scrapbooks or in my planners. And so it was like using arts and paint supplies mostly to get the paper product at the end. And so I need to edit quite a bit of that because I really have not used my painting and mixed media supplies probably since I stopped scrapbooking. And then the other thing that I really want to work on is diamond painting. I want to get my diamond painting stuff back out. So I feel like aside from the diamond painting, I've really mostly turned more towards, at this point, I think like the fiber side of crafting, and my room does not really reflect that. So yeah, I want to do a lot of editing and moving my craft space around, and so yeah, I'm not sure how much I'm going to get it done in September because I have a lot of very different plans. So we'll see in a month what happens. I might film some smaller videos here and there of what I'm working on, but yeah, if you got this far, thanks for watching, and let me make sure and end this because my mother doesn't like it when I just trail off. So, hi Mom, this is a nice graceful ending. Thank you for watching.